back to our one-way analysis of variance for the 2011 percent antibiotic resistant MRSA infections by region. If we assume normality and we want to run an ANOVA, assuming equal variance as well, our test showed us that we had a statistically significant difference in means. The question is where? To get that out of jump, we can go to the compare means option. There are 4 tests here, each pair students T, all pairs Tukey, with best, that's the Sioux, and with control Dunnits. The best and the control are to be used for very specific situations. As the control implies, it is actually comparing it to a control group. We don't have that here. We also don't know what the best group is, not the highest or lowest, so we won't use that here either. It comes down to us using the all pairs Tukey or the each pair student T. What JUMP will tell you here is that there are no adjustments for multiple testing made when you do each pair students T. It's very important we take into account the multiple testing adjustments, and that's why we'll use an all pair Tukey's HSD. It protects the overall error rate. That is, it makes sure that we aren't making a decision by mistake. It maintains our overall alpha of 0.05, and it does that for you. You don't have to do any adjustment to your p-values or to your alpha. JUMP will do that. So let's ask for all pair Tukey. And you get the circles results here. This report is only for you. It has helped you determine where there are differences. If you click on the circle, it will tell you which groups it is different from by showing them in gray. The groups that it's similar to, it will show in red. If I click on another region, it's the same as those groups. It is different from this group. If I click on the South again, it's different from these two, but the same as that one. But that doesn't really give us a lot of information. We know what our mean values are. What we want to know is the test results. So let's close our one-way ANOVA and look at our means comparisons with the Tukey-Kramer result. It will give you, for an alpha, what the t-test comparison is, and notice that it's no longer near 2, it's much higher than 2 at a 2.686. That means that the t-test for each individual group would be compared to this critical value, but you don't need to do that. It will give you the HSD threshold matrix, which I don't actually find to be that useful, so we will close it. It does give you this lettered connecting letters report, which will show you letters with the same value are not statistically significantly different. Letters with the same letter or different letters are. So South has an A, Northeast has an A. That means those are not statistically significantly different. But South is different from West and Midwest according to the connected letters report. In addition to looking at the connected letters report, you can also look at the ordered differences report. Now, these p-values are correctly adjusted for the fact that you have multiple tests. You can see South compared to Midwest. South is 12.4 points larger than the Midwest. Here is the lower and upper bounds on that difference, and here is the p-value for the test. South is statistically significantly different from West. Here is that difference. It will be compared to 0. Here is that p-value. This difference is statistically significantly different from 0. South is different from West. South compared to Northeast has a slightly similar difference. However, the p-value is not statistically significantly different. There's a number of reasons that this could be the case. If we go ahead and look at our means and standard deviations, comparing South to the Northeast, more than double the sample size, whereas South to West has a slightly smaller mean difference. And that really can make all the difference in the comparisons. 11.8 to 11.1, here is the demarcation line between South being different from 11.7 and South not being different from 11.1. So in this case, We have declared a statistically significant difference in means, and the means that are different are South from Midwest and South from West. The remainder of the regional differences are not statistically significantly different, and those p-values are also given here. So that's essentially it for the Tukey's. It's relatively straightforward, provides you all of the information you need on means comparisons. So let's remove our Tukey's and remove our ANOVA and remove our means and start over with a non-parametric assessment. So the Wilcoxon. Non-parametric assessment for Wilcoxon tells us our medians are different, but we would like to know where our medians are different. So back under the non-parametric option, there is a non-parametric multiple comparison. And you can see here, we have a Wilcoxon, each pair. It's equivalent to the student's T, no adjustment for multiple test. We have the Steele-Doss, all pairs. It is a non-parametric version of Tukey's. That is actually what we want to use. We have the Steele with control, which is similar to Dunnett's. And then we have a few other options here. But what we want is the Steele-Doss or Steele-Doss all pairs. Click on that, and you will see an identical report here to what we saw in the Tukey's in terms of the all pairs using the adjusted test, the Steele-Doss. It'll give you the difference in the means, what that z-score is, what that p-value is, though you would want to report the medians. You'll want to report the median differences. So you'd want to report a difference of the medians and the p-values associated with those tests. These give us identical results to what we saw before. You can see that South is different from Midwest and South is different from Northeast, though South and West are not different. You can sort these by right-clicking if you want them in the same order. And we can see here, South, different from Midwest and Northeast, not different from West, and then the other values are not different. Do not report a p-value of 1. Report a p-value greater than 0.9999. This is simply due to a lack of space. So we never report p-values of 1 or p-values of 0. A p-value of 1 should be reported as 0.9999, and a p-value less than or equal to 0 should be reported as less than 0.0001. Both the Steele-Doss and the Tukey's will give you the correctly adjusted results for your follow-up tests.